Welcome. It is Make It Monday, and this is Cindy Fodor with Stamp the Love, and I'm excited for you to join me tonight. I'm going to give it a few seconds here to come through because I forgot to turn the sound on because I was checking everything else. All right, there we go. Okay, so yeah, pop on, say hello, let me know that you're here. And I have some fun ideas to show you that are probably a little different than typical, and I think that you'll enjoy them. So I'm going to give you a few seconds. Let me talk about celebration because we are coming to an end, folks. We have 10 days left to earn our wonderful celebration products. So that means hurry. You must hurry. I will have the host code on my next screen so that you'll be able to see it when you place an order. If you use that host code, you will get my free projects from the month for this month. So hey Sylvia, thanks for joining me. Sorry I was a tad late. But yeah, so make sure that you get that ordered before the end of celebration because you will miss out. And tonight, and I decided that this week I am going to probably try to bring you a video each day. They won't be long. This one might be just a tad longer, but the other ones will be short and sweet, showing you some more ideas with our free products because I just feel like 2 months is such a short time to really introduce and play with everything, especially when there's so many other great sets that you can purchase, but time is of the essence for these, so I don't want you to miss out on those. So anyways, let me pop over and get started. I do have to just grab my lights here real quick. Give me a second. All right, so this is the stamp set that I want to play with a little bit tonight. Haven't done a lot with it. Used it for my scrapbook page this month, and I'll show you that in a second. I am going to just increase the screen just a tad because I want to show you the scrapbook page. But this is not a set that people gravitate to unless they're quite creative, okay? Because it takes some imagination to use this. But it creates some really fun things, and I've seen some really imaginative ideas from some other demonstrators and folks who earned the set. So I'm going to show some of those to you. I'm going to start out by showing you a couple cards that I did today, and I thought this one was cute. This one uses the solid circle, it uses the outline, it uses the splatter, and it uses this little stamp right here. I'm going to show you where I got that. That's from the Penguin Place stamp set, the little purse or whatever that the penguin can carry, or it could be a bucket, it could be anything, but it works really nice for the top of an ornament. So there's an ornament card. The colors that I used here are, yeah, I always forget the name of this blue. It's our light blue. And yeah, today's been a really bad word day, so I may not be able to tell you the colors that I use for the ones that aren't in here. But anyways, this is our in color blue. And yeah, and then some silver, our silver cord. For this one, I do know this color. This is Pear Pizzazz and Old Olive for these ornaments. And of course, real red for the bows. And I just cut this sheer ribbon in half because I wanted my bows to be tiny and I wanted each of the ornaments to have a bow. So, oh, Talara, sorry it's freezing on you. I know you have that issue there, but yeah, so I hope you can catch it later. And then I used this background paper, the designer paper from, it's called Heartfelt something, I believe. It got carried over in the catalog from last year because it was such a good Christmas paper. So first time I've pulled that out this year. And then this one, I really love the soft colors of this. This is Pale Papaya, Pear Pizzazz, and Misty Moonlight, the darker blue that I couldn't remember to tell you what was there. But they're all stamped off except for the circles here. I stamped all of them off so that they were lighter, except for that. So, so that it would be real soft and muted. Anyways, yeah, I think it makes a fun designer paper if you want just a, yeah, that other word I can't remember. So that geometric is the word I was trying to think of, and I kept wanting to say geographical, and I knew that wasn't right. All right, so these are my pages. Oh, you know what? I might just pull them out of the plastic so that they don't shimmer all over the place. So you can see here that I used the outline circle and the spatter. I used the circle here in 2 different colors to create that look. The designer paper that I used, these colors in black and white, is from the Hostess paper that you can earn when your order's over $150. And then I used some of our ombre shimmer glimmer paper, and you can see the shine. And then what I did, these you can't probably see it there, but this butterfly is shimmery there. You can see a little bit. And so is, hold on one second, let me pull this other one out. And so is this butterfly. And what I did was I cut these out of this strip of ombre glimmer paper right under where my butterfly was going to go there, there and here. So I have a red one and a yellow one. And then the rest of these butterflies I stamped and die cut from Butterfly Brilliance. And then I watercolored them in an ombre fashion, keeping the darker up top and coming down and getting lighter. And then the way I colored them is I actually used my Wink of Stella pen as my watercolor pen. So yeah, so then I colored and Wink of Stella at the same time. I didn't have to repeat. You can see a little bit more of the background here on this page. It doesn't have quite as much on it. So hopefully that's helpful. There's another card that I didn't get finished, but it's one of the first ones I saw. And I'm going to just finish it here real quick. It's using Garden Green, Old Olive, and Really Rust. And I don't know if you can tell what this is supposed to be, but I don't have the little stamp for the legs on this little guy. So I'm going to just make him some legs because he needs his legs. And it's going to be a caterpillar. Somebody, I think, used the Jack stamp from the card game. I'm not sure which stamp they used for that, but it was really cute. And I'm going to make him some little antennas here. All right, so next he needs a face. So I'm going to use our matte decorative dots. And let me grab, I'm going to use the darker yellow here, if I can get them to come up. Actually, maybe I should have used the smaller, I'm not sure. Whoops. My putty is getting unsticky here. Let me see if I can just put this down by hand. I'm going to just take that off and restart that. Don't forget when you do this just to give it a tiny squeeze and give it a few seconds. I always get too much because it doesn't come out fast, but you can see it coming out there. I'm going to turn it just a tad more. I don't want to waste it, and the more you have, the more you waste because you don't need a lot of it. So that's about enough. Let's do a green one. I'm going to say he has a tiny mouth. I'm going to give him a tiny mouth. There we go. All right, so now we need a saying. And what is that? Oh, roll. I brought, hold on, something here. A birthday thing. Oh, I brought the sheep because so glad it's your birthday. I thought that would be a perfect saying for this. And let's see, did I bring an ink pad? We'll use, could use black. I'll use Pear Pizzazz. That'll be all right. I could use my Old Olive marker. I might just add a little more color there just with my marker, just so that it's dark enough. Everything else on this card is really dark, so I don't want this to not be dark. Okay. Stamp that right there, and I got a smudge there, so I'm going to get rid of that with my sand eraser. Hopefully I can get rid of it. Sorry, I'll be shaking just a tad. Now this does leave, it does take a layer of your paper off, but even if I was using it on colored paper, our cardstock is colored the whole way through, so I wouldn't have to worry about that. I had this card, this is I think one of the first cards that I did but didn't finish, and it was laying there, so it got sort of in the way. I think I need a layer of really rust behind here, so I think I'm not going to glue that down. Let me just see. I have a little bit of that, but it's not quite dark enough. Yeah, it definitely needs a little bit of rust behind it. You see how it's too close to the same tone here. So I will, I'm going to lay that aside. I will finish that, and I promise I will post a picture of that along with the other ones when I'm finished, so that you can copy any of these ideas that you like. I'll leave that out because I'll probably use it again. The next one that I want to show you is the colors I'm going to be using are, again, the Pear Pizzazz. Let me lay this back. Pear Pizzazz Polished Pink and Daffodil Delight. And then we're going to use some black with this. And the stamp set that I'm using along with the texture is Color and Contour. This is one that I introduced to you guys a while ago. It has some beautiful dies with it, which I'm not using today. I'm just going to be using the stamp set here, and You're Absolutely Amazing. And I'm going to grab those stamps. Then my cardstock that I'm using is Daffodil Delight, and for the card base I have it cut at 4 1/4 by 11 and scored at 5 1/2 because I want it to open this way. And then I have some white and some black, and the colors are gonna just come from the stamp, so that's it. I do need scrap paper, so let me just grab that. We're going to just get a little messy here. I'm gonna put that aside. We're going to work with this white piece first. Just scoot this up a little bit so that you can see everything. And I'm going to be using the solid circle for this card. Okay, so I'm going to start with my lightest color first. And I had to think a little bit because I didn't want to have to wash it 100 times, but I'm going to create a whole background with this circle stamp. So I'm going to turn this light up just a tad. It feels dark. Okay, so anyways, so I just sort of randomly spread them across my paper. And I'm not using my paper piercing mat, so I am trying to press really good to make sure that I get that whole thing. And then I have my cleaning pad, so I'm going to wash this quick. Let me just squirt a little spray on it. Refresh that. Okay, so washed and dried. And next I'm going to go to my next lightest color. I think that would be the Pear Pizzazz. And I'm going to be overlapping just a little bit because I really want to cover most of the surface. I don't want a lot of white left over. And so let me come in here. here. 3 colors is usually a good number of colors to be able to fill things in. Now, I want you to know I'm not going to fill this area in right here just because that's going to be covered. So don't panic that I'm missing that spot. This pad is very juicy. I did have to pull the color away just a little bit because it was so juicy, but it's worked its way back. But it'll be okay. I don't mind if there's a little pattern in my circle. Again, overlapping a bit. There. Isn't that pretty? Such pretty colors. Now, I'm going to do, let's see, I have the inside of my card here somewhere. Yeah. I want to just do a little bit of color on the inside. So I should have done that before I changed the colors. So I'm just I might just make that a little lighter. No, that's not very bright. Never mind that idea. And then a green one. Okay, so I'm finished with those colors except for the yellow. So let me just get rid of this one real quick. All right. Now, I want to add some spatter to this, and I'm going to show you something new I tried today. I wasn't sure how it would work, but I took my Memento pad and I took my Memento ink refill, just like I use my other refills, and put a little bit there in the lid. That's why I brought this tissue in with me, because I know I was going to need to clean that up. And then somewhere here is my water painter. This is the wide one, and I wanted it pretty wet, so I gave it a good squeeze in here, that's a little too much water, so I'm just going to wipe that off so my brush isn't totally wet, and I'm just going to grab some of this wetness, and I'm going to make sure nothing is in the way because I'm going to get messy here. Okay, so you never know where this is going to go, so if you're not sure and you want to scoot that out of the way till you just see sort of what's going to happen, that's not too bad. Okay. Now this is, because this ink is good with alcohol, it does fade on our regular ink, but I think it's okay that it fades a little bit. It's going to look a little bit more like basic gray instead of really black. And I also want it to be, I think I'm going to put it on the inside of my card. Now that I have the ink in here, on here, I might as well utilize it, right? Let's see if I can get some little spatters on here. Now my original design, the spatters got a little bit bigger, and sometimes it depends on the wetness as to how much spatter you're going to get. Now I know I didn't stamp this yet, and I hope I don't like ruin it, but I'm going to go ahead and add my spatters to this before I stamp. There, that's nice and fine. All right, now I need to just clean this out a little bit, so I'm going to squeeze that on my scrap paper there. Almost finished with this scrap paper, and you just wipe it till it's dry, and if you have a paper towel sometimes it's a little quicker. And then I'm just going to clean the lid because I don't want that water going back into my pad, and that's finished, so we'll close that for now. All right, so let me just get rid of this, and we will get back to the front of this card. That's drying a little bit. I see I got a spatter of black in my pad. Forgot to move that away. That wasn't good. In my yellow, of course. Just wipe that a little bit with a tissue. That should be fine. That color will fill in shortly when I refill it again. Okay. I already stamped a green ink in there earlier because I had them all laying on my table. And I have a mess here. Let's go ahead and clean that up. Should have spread my scrap paper out, shouldn't I? I'll bring my alcohol in and get that cleaned up then. Okay. I just don't want to smear it on something. All right. So now I'm going to take this stamp and I'm going to ink it with the black. And I don't need the whole thing, so I'm just going to start there. And we'll get that stamped in the middle. Okay. It's just such a pretty open stamp, a real solid line stamp if you want something that really pops. And so that's why this one really works good for, it's a lot of black to contrast with all the bright color that we have on this card. And then I'm going to ink this stamp, which is just a fill-in for the flowers that are on there. So quick and easy coloring. Like I said, I don't need to watercolor that because I was able to stamp that. Now, one more thing I want to do to this piece, and I'm going to not smear anything, hopefully, but I'm just going to take my scissors. Those are my ribbon scissors. You guys probably saw that, didn't you? And I just am going to take this along the edge and rough this up a little bit. And you can do as much as or as little as you want. You can even make little tears in it if you want to. I'm just going to keep it pretty simple right here. Looks like I smeared the spatter just a tad. That was not smart, was it? But I'll erase that then. Okay, or I might cover it with my ribbon. Now, excuse me, got a frog in my throat. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with this colored piece, just to create a little bit of, you'll be able to see the whiteness around the edge of that. You don't always have to follow through with this on every piece of your design, but sometimes it's nice to follow through with it and make it all look like it's antiqued. Okay. And I'm going to put just a little white behind that because I really, you see again, if I put that directly on the yellow pieces would not be showing very well. So I'm going to do one more thing. I readjusted that and I feel like I keep getting out of the screen. So I'm going to go ahead and tape that on there. Oops, I just tore that one. Not sure why it's wanting to do that all of a sudden. Probably because I'm rolling too fast. Just pull that back up here and put a little adhesive there. And then we'll go ahead and get this layered on, and then we'll finish the front. Sometimes it's easier to get your glue on before you have lots of things that are bumpy on the other side. Okay, looks like I didn't get this scored perfectly, so let me just scoot that over there a little bit. All right, so there's our front so far. We're going to add this piece. We're going to do one more thing before we finish the front. I want to take that You're Amazing from the Color and Contour set, and we're going to emboss that in silver. We're going to add a touch of silver to this card. I saw this card online, and I can't for the life of me think. It's a girl in Australia. I know that, yes, her name was very difficult to pronounce, and I don't remember it. Raja something was her last name. But her work is just stunning, and I love the colors that she used in this card. So using my embossing buddy, stamping this with Versamark, and then I'm going to pour my silver powder on here, give it a little flick to get off all the excess, and then I'm going to set that aside so I don't heat that, and just grab my heat tool. I'm going to do something here real quick. I'm going to sit it on here so I don't have to hold it and burn my fingers because I didn't bring a clipboard. Actually, hold on. I have tweezers. Imagine that. having tweezers in your video room. Okay. Let's see if I can burn my fingers here. There we go. Okay. All right, now I want to grab some dimensionals here. I'm going to start popping a few things on here. I only need one. So I'm going to go ahead and put about 6 on here since it's such a large piece. Might as well just peel those off as I go, right? All right, and before I stick that down, oh, I see why it was sticking. There was a dimensional there. I do want to add some ribbon. Let me find that. Okay, so I think that I'm going to just tie it right around here. And I'm going to tie it in a bow. So it's going to be easier if I can stick this down and then tie it. I want a fairly lot of ribbon sticking down from that because this ribbon is going to be our highlight. And then we're going to pop this right here. And I think, where did I put those dimensionals? They're there. And I brought in our clear, silver and clear epoxy drops. And you know, if you've watched any of my videos, you know I love the clear ones. But guess what? This time I need to use the silver ones. And I'm so excited that I get to use those. So let me grab those out of here and find all of the silver pieces that I haven't used yet. Look, there they are, all silver, because I used all the clear. All right, here we go. Now these, if you'll remember, I can't use the take your pick tool with them because they are so tightly glued on there, and you actually have to sort of peel them off to get them to come off. So we'll add a couple of those. I don't know. I have a lot of these, so I think we'll add a few more. I think we need some over here in the color. Wouldn't that be pretty? Let's add one more up here. There we go. All right, so there's another card, and then we have our inside, of course. So let me just glue that, and I'm going to leave this blank because I don't know what I might want to put in here. The thank you for everything from this set would go nicely in there, but I can always add that later. All right, so we've got our inside and our outside looking gorgeous. So I hope you enjoyed that. I'm sorry, I know greens don't show up great on camera, and this green is looking really mossy, but it's actually, in real life, it's really bright. So again, I will post a picture and hope to get some good lighting so that you can actually see how pretty these colors look together. All right, what else do I have? Oh, I don't want to put that next to that one. I have one more to show you. Give me 2 seconds to just grab my stuff here and move supplies away. For this one, I'm going to use the long solid rectangle. And I'm using 3 different colors. This time I'm using Bermuda Bay, Coastal Cabana, and Pale Papaya. And I'm using another celebration set, actually, and it's this, it's a die set. Okay, this is one that you can earn with a $100 order, beautiful die set. It actually coordinates with this set that's from our annual catalog. And this has some fabulous fonts in it. We're going to use this stamp today. It's just a really beautiful set. In fact, I might even change out and make this a happy birthday because I use a ton of thank yous and happy birthdays. So let me just grab that and switch that out with the hello you. Okay, so, and I'm going to use some pale papaya ribbon to coordinate. So these are our colors. And let me just, we're going to use Memento as well. Okay, so again, I'm going to grab my scrap paper. Just need it for a minute. I'll try to use a part that's not completely wet from that brushing. And we just, whoops, we just need that on our white piece here. I have been busy, Sylvia, thank you. I was working on orders, class orders all day, all morning, and I was like, I've got to go stamp and get some ideas. And I started out around, I don't know, 3 o'clock or so. No, it was after that because my husband got home and we had supper around 4. So I was like, I got to get rolling. So I've been busy, but it's been very crammed busy in the last couple of hours. All right, so again, I'm going to start with my lighter color, which is my pale papaya. And I'm going to be going this direction this time. And because the stamp is a little wider at one side, I'm going to be turning this back and forth so that these go together nicely. So I'm going to start here, and then I sort of went like this, like, okay, 1, 2, 3, let's see, 1, 2, 3. It's going to go this direction. And that's going to fit right about here. I hate having it on scrap paper. I'd rather have it on my grid so that I can make sure that this is staying straight. Maybe if I put that at the edge there, I'll be able to see a little bit better. Okay, now I'm going to change my next color. And because this was light, I'm just going to wipe it off gently here. And I'm going to go to my Coastal Cabana. Now, it wasn't quite as color contrasting to the Bermuda Bay as I was hoping it would be when I chose this color. So I am a little disappointed that they're so close together in color. Okay, and then next I'm going right into Bermuda Bay because it's a dark color. You see what I mean? Like they're really close together. And I think this one needs to go this direction. And voila, there we go. I just think those colors are so pretty together though. That pale papaya is one gorgeous color, and it's an in color. I know it will only be here for 2 years, but very worth having in your repertoire. Okay, so I'm finished with these colors. I'm going to pull in my Memento pad and my the stamp from that stamp set that I just showed you. Because it's so big, I'm going to ink it this way. And when I inked it the first time, I actually had to rub it a little bit and ink it because the surface of that rubber needed to be worked up a little bit in order for it to grab the ink. And I'm going to stamp that right over top of the color. Again, here's a nice solid image, and it works great to do in black. I just want to make sure all that ink transfers, so I'm giving it a few seconds. And this would have been one to do in the Stamparatus, and then I could have stamped it again if I wanted to. Some of the black didn't quite come through. All right, so again, I'm going to switch to this, this Happy Birthday now. I'm going to stamp this down in the corner. This one I haven't used yet either, so... And that's so pretty. All right. All right, a couple more things. Again, we're going to layer this. Let me go ahead and fold this so I don't get it in the ink. Got my bone folder here. And I'm going to layer it with a little bit of Bermuda Bay behind it to follow through with that color. Look how pretty that stands out. And then, well, let's go ahead and do that. And then we'll finish the front. Oops, throwing things now. I knew there was so much potential with this stamp set, but to tell you the truth, sometimes I'm not, I know some of you think that I'm very creative, but I really am a good copier, and I'm okay with seeing things that look nice, but sometimes I really struggle spatially with how things should lay out. And so doing scrapbook pages, of course, helps me keep my mind sharp, but anyways, and develop that creativity a little bit. But so this is the die cut then that you can earn for free. Let me just poke out these little things that didn't come out. I was hoping, if you can picture this, when it's cut out, I know it's going to be hard to, but if you can picture the pieces that are left laying on my plate with these little dots and these, it was so beautiful. And I was going to try to do something with it quick, but I ended up dropping the plate and half of them fell off. But I really, if I can make that happen, I will show you. If I can take these pieces and just put them back on a dark piece of cardstock, they're just so stunning cut out like that. Anyways, just something I saw, but I couldn't make it happen because everything flew apart when I dropped the plate. It would have been too hard to figure where all the pieces went, but usually they stay right on the plate, so that's not too difficult. I think I want this to line up here. I'm not sure if I do. Sometimes things look better when they're not completely lined up. But I glued just the center of that, so I might just pull up the edges so that they, so it's a little more, I don't know, less stoic. Is that a good word for it? Stoic. And I don't think I'm going to pop this up. I'm going to just put a little bit of green glue on there. I want to cover where the stem is coming down. And you know what? I think that it would be good to put some ribbon under there. I can't remember what I really wanted there, but I think that would be pretty, don't you think? Oh, you know what? I know what I wanted. I wanted to put pale papaya on there, and I glued that down already. I might be able to make this work, guys. Hold on a second. Let me scoot this up. Okay, hopefully that'll stay. And if I didn't push that down too hard, I can just run this through here and pop that out the other side. There we go. Whew, almost forgot that. That was like the best part of this card. And let me just give a little snip here. And then I want to just tie this in a bow right above my happy birthday there. Don't want to cover that. It's pretty close, isn't it? Let me see if I can scoot it up just a hair. All right, there we go. Oh, hi, Tabby. Welcome. Just give this a little tie. And do another little snip. There, that's so much better. Okay, now it still needs a gem, and I couldn't decide what I wanted to put on here. So we're going to try something. I pulled out these Playing with Patterns resin dots, and I think that I can put one of these large ones, maybe a medium one, in the center. I don't know if these come off with this or not. Since we used Coastal Cabana as one of our colors, I thought that might look okay. I definitely don't want to use the yellow on there because it will clash with the pale papaya. But I will show you that my original card that I was working on, I didn't finish. I actually started with So Saffron and the other two colors, and I thought it was pretty too. So I think you could use the front. And hopefully you'll enjoy it even more now that you have some ideas to use with it. But if you didn't, the number is 156616, and you can earn that with a $50 order. So, yeah. All right, guys. Thanks to those of you who joined me live. I really appreciate having somebody to talk to, and thanks for those of you that come in later. And I hope that you have a wonderful week. Don't forget, as I said at the beginning, I'm going to be posting a video each day, maybe a live, maybe just a posting, around 8 o'clock each evening this week, with more ideas from our celebration sets and papers, so that in case you have them or need them, you'll have ideas with them. All right. Thanks.